Today, we're going to talk about the name that apparently has the entire trade market frozen in the NBA, and that's Giannis Antetokounmpo, because according to Brian Windhorst, the whole NBA trade season is basically on standby, waiting on one decision. But that's not all. The Warriors are repeatedly plotting offseason moves for Giannis or LeBron. Sabonis is drawing real interest around the league, and Miles Bridges has teams lining up to trade for him. This isn't a rumor season anymore. It's trade season. We're going to talk about it all and more after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything basketball related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at NBA Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go and get into this content for today, y'all. And yeah, man. Apparently, the Charlotte Hornets have been getting some interest on Miles Bridges from Milwaukee Bucks, the Golden State Warriors, and Phoenix Suns, who have all shown interest in Miles Bridges. Now, I want to be clear here. As of right now, the Charlotte Hornets have not actually indicated that Miles Bridges is even available in trade talks. But reportedly, if they do look to move on from him, they want at least one first-round pick, or maybe even two for Miles Bridges. This one comes from Sam Amick of The Athletic. He says that the combo forward makes a tradable $25 million this season and a fully guaranteed $22.8 million season for the 2026-27 season. One challenge for the Bucks is that the Hornets have no interest in taking back Kyle Kuzma in Bridges' trade. Kuzma is owed $22.4 million this season, followed by $20 million next season. The Warriors could offer Jonathan Kuminga as a centerpiece for a deal for Bridges. The Suns could piece together a handful of contracts to match salary for Bridges, but don't have the draft capital to send the Charlotte Hornets. Again, that comes from Sam Amick of The Athletic. Interesting enough name as far as Miles Bridges. Keep in mind, Miles Bridges was almost out of the league, because of off-the-court shit, right? We're not going to even get into that in this one. But when you look at all these teams, I guess it makes some sense, right? Like the Milwaukee Bucks are just looking for something. They are looking to add something. They want to get off Kyle Kuzma's contract. They're looking to add somebody who can actually come in and help that team play some basketball and hopefully win some games. And while Miles Bridges has, had some struggles as a player, he has some struggles, as a player, as all of them do, he's still a player that can definitely help some teams in the right scenario and situation. Now, we have also heard that the Milwaukee Bucks have now pivoted back towards their initial interest in Zach LaVine, which is no surprise there. But the questions are the Kings going to bite on what the Milwaukee Bucks have to offer with only that one first-round pick coming back in that? Charlotte Hornets are an interesting team enough because they have players that I do think have talent, right? They have players that have talent. It's not, a question of that. But the Charlotte Hornets are 17-28. How much of these players do they want to hold on to? And Miles Bridges, when you look at it, right, is a player that, while not old, is 27 years old. He is older and may not fit the timeline of Knipple, of now Ryan Kalkbrenner, Moussa Diabate, right? Brandon Miller when he's healthy, LaMelo Ball. And so maybe that's why they can look to move on from Bridges, get a first-round pick back that can help them, especially if it's in the 2026 draft, which the Milwaukee Bucks can't offer. But the Jonathan Kuminga part could be interesting as well for them if the Golden State Warriors put that on the board for him. Now, Kuminga has suffered an injury. We don't really know the details on exactly how long it's going to be out. It sucks that considering all the things that are going on with Jonathan Kuminga, every time the Warriors try to drum up interest and raise the trade value of Jonathan Kuminga, some shit happens when it comes down to that. But right now he's listed as day-to-day with left knee soreness. And, we don't know exactly what's going to happen. He ended the game with 10 points, going 3-3 from the field, 4-4 from the free throw line, 1 rebound, 2 assists, and 2 steals in only 9 minutes. So, there's going to be some interest there. Hopefully that's what the Golden State Warriors are hoping for. But Miles Bridges is a name that I didn't necessarily expect to hear become available at this trade deadline just because I didn't know what the interest was going to be at teams around the league in Miles Bridges of all players, right? So we'll see what the Charlotte Hornets decide to do with this one. And we've seen this happen before, the interest is kind of what dictates, because there are some times where even if it's a player that necessarily you didn't go into the trade deadline, go into the season planning to move, if you can get that value back and the teams makes you an offer that value may not be there later when you decide to do some things, it is. And if they can take advantage of the Milwaukee Bucks, I still think the Milwaukee Bucks draft pick is actually, enticing, because by the time it conveys in 2031, 2032, we don't even know if Giannis is going to be on the team. We don't know what is going to happen with that team over the course of that. That's 5 years from now, right? A lot can happen Giannis already over 30. A lot can happen in that time. And that's what is kind of so dangerous about the Milwaukee Bucks trading that pick, because, hey, they can do that and then still be SOL. And that pick can end up being, hell, a top 10 pick by then. So the Charlotte Hornets, who always have to draft their players because they aren't a free agent destination, they haven't shown to be that one in years, it could make some sense there for them. Or they can get a young player back in Jonathan Kuminga that has shown some things, some questions on his fit there, right? LaMelo Ball's come off the bench some for that Charlotte Hornets team. Maybe it can make some sense there, but let me know what you guys think on that. Hearing that Miles Bridges is starting to draw some trade interest around the league, is that something that makes sense for them to go ahead and strike, move off of his contract, and then try to get any asset back for it rather than it expire at the end of next season and not get anything back? I mean, we've seen it, and we also have seen expiring contracts don't necessarily always hold the same value, so we'll see what happens there. With that, I do want to get into the next topic, which is reportedly the Raptors, the Suns, the Wizards, and Bulls have all shown interest in Jonathan Kuminga. This one comes from Sam Amick of, not Jonathan Kuminga, and Domantas Sabonis. Kuminga's on the brain. This one also comes from Sam Amick of The Athletic as well, who says this: the Sacramento Kings are open to moving several veterans on their roster. That list includes Domantas Sabonis, Keon Ellis, DeMar DeRozan, and Zach LaVine. Sabonis carries the largest contract of that group, but that hasn't kept teams from exposing interest in acquiring the veteran big man. The Toronto Raptors, Phoenix Suns, Washington Wizards, and Chicago Bulls have all showed interest in Sabonis. The Bulls and Wizards could offer the Kings expiring contracts in exchange for their starting center. The Suns would have to get creative in putting contracts together to trade for Sabonis. The Raptors remain a team to watch. RJ Barrett will likely be involved in the trade, as he was drafted by current Kings GM Scott Perry when he was in the same position with the New York Knicks. When you look at Sabonis' contract, $42.3 million this year, $45.5 million next season, $48.6 in 2027-28. RJ Barrett has $27 million contract this year and $29 million next season as well. So there are, of course, machinations that could get this done for all those teams. The Bulls have $89 million in expiring contracts. They also have all the first-round picks. The Phoenix Suns have, like we've heard in the last rumor, they have a number of assets that they would have to try to combine, which can get a little bit difficult to fix with in the middle of the season with roster spots being taken up, stuff like that. The Toronto Raptors are a team we continually hear really want to be buyers at this trade deadline. It's just if that deal presents itself and is available for them that they feel pushes them forward. The Raptors are probably the team that's on this list are playing with the most pressure, right? The Washington Wizards are young, and reportedly, they're looking at possibly taking on bad contracts to stack draft picks. That wouldn't necessarily be the Sabonis deal. That would be them more trying to make a win-now move. The Toronto Raptors are a team that, reportedly there's internal pressure in that organization to take advantage of this window that they feel is open right now and try to strike on that and find a deal. So it really comes down to how bad the Kings want to move, right? Now the Kings, that would be a full blow-up. If the Kings trade Domantas Sabonis, at that point, you take the best deals for DeMar. You take the best deals for Zach LaVine. You take the best deals because you are completely starting from the ground up if that ends up being the case, because Sabonis is the best player on your team, and he's the one that's going to get you probably the most assets back. So what you set in a tone for Sabonis would be it. Or do you move Zach LaVine? Do you move DeMar DeRozan back first and then hope that maybe you get some things that make some sense to maybe keep Sabonis around? That's the question here, right? Keon Ellis is another player as well that I think more teams should really have interest in around the league because of Keon Ellis's ability to play defense. He can fit on just about any roster construction that you need, and so maybe there's some things that go on there. But ultimately, I don't know what this team's going to do. I don't know what they're going to do. I like Keon Ellis. He's 26 years old, though, and he's a player that doesn't really play a lot of minutes. But again, because of the need for defense and guards around the league, maybe you can find out what's there. So the Kings are an interesting team as far as from a seller perspective to watch leading into this trade deadline, because they have players that can help teams. They have players that can dump salary. And this is a team that's it's still crazy to me that we are not even that far removed from the light the beam team. And this is now where we sit with the Sacramento Kings, to where they could be looking to trade Domantas Sabonis for draft picks and expiring salary. Like, that's how quickly things can turn in the NBA, and you just never know your window. I say it like this, like, sometimes you just miss your window. Sometimes you miss your moment as an NBA team. And the Kings, from firing Mike Brown to trading De'Aaron Fox to where they are now, it's just a series of decisions that led them to this, that you could say, did it start with the DeMar DeRozan sign and trade in the offseason? Was that the straw that broke the camel's back? Like, it's so funny how it happens, because this was a team, a franchise, and a fan base that really thought they were moving in the right direction, and it seemed like they were. But now they sit in a place to where they could and probably should be looking to blow up every single thing that they have there to try to find a direction for this team going forward. And that's just the interesting part to watch. I guess we'll see what's going to happen with that. You guys can let me know how you guys feel on it down below, because that's crazy. Now, what's crazier than even that is reportedly, according to Jake Fisher of the Stein Line, the Golden State Warriors plan to target LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo in the offseason. Now, I want to be clear here on this one, right? Like, LeBron is LeBron, and he loves being in California. We all know that. The situation with him and the Lakers, not just because of the recent article, but does seem like it's probably going to reach a natural ending conclusion here, right? And, of course, Steph Curry and LeBron James, they have a relationship that, we heard rumors before that they are interested in playing together and stuff like that, right? They met 4 straight times in the NBA Finals from 2015 to 2018, and we've seen chemistry with them on the court together in the 2024 Olympics in Paris, right? So all those things have been there. With Curry signed through the 2026-27 season, and the Golden State Warriors wanting to take advantage of that and try their best to put together a championship contending team in that time. That's the move for Jimmy Butler. He now goes down with a torn ACL. I don't know if they have the trade assets to trade for Giannis. So I look at this and I hear, okay, so LeBron, is it realistic? And that's the question that you have to ask for yourself here. Is the Golden State Warriors signing LeBron a realistic opportunity for them in the offseason? If LeBron does leave the Lakers, could he look at Dre? Could he look at Steph? Could he look at Jimmy Butler and say, hey, listen, I can go and sign there, and we can probably try to get some things done? I've called this version of the Golden State Warriors the Wild Hogs, because it's just a group of old men together going out and doing their thing, right? And LeBron would add to that. But it's just an interesting thing to watch in this, because while they're unlikely to trade Jimmy Butler, the Warriors really don't have a lot of runway here realistically. So, Golden State doesn't really have a shot at Giannis Antetokounmpo, in my opinion, right? The Warriors were linked to LeBron James around the 2024 trade deadline. Joe Lacob apparently had a conversation with Jenny Buss about the idea, but the Lakers, he was told that the Lakers had no desire to trade LeBron at that point in time. So, reportedly, though, Rich Paul and LeBron prefer to remain with the Los Angeles Lakers. Rob Pelinka's also said that the team has no desire to trade LeBron James. The question now is, does LeBron go there in the offseason? Steve Kerr has not signed a contract beyond this season right now, so we don't know exactly what's going to happen with the Golden State Warriors. It's good that they have their sights set high, especially while Steph is still playing at this level and still able to put up the numbers that he is. And same could be said for LeBron at this point in time. But I just don't know if this is the most natural fit. It still seems weird to me if this were to happen, but weirder things have happened. Let me know down below what you guys think. Could LeBron realistically go to the Golden State Warriors in the offseason? Let me know that down below. Last thing before we get out of here, and this comes from Brian Windhorst. We talked a little bit about this before. He says this: the entire NBA trade season is hinging on what happens with Giannis. Because if Giannis comes into the market, not only would there be immense interest in him, but because of the size of his contract and the potential of a multiplayer trade, I think you can see this generate 2, 3, 4 different teams involved in trades and in many players. The Bucks to this point have yet to cross the Rubicon here, and Giannis has yet to cross the red line and ask for a trade. Everybody in the league believes this is eventually going to happen. Everybody in the league can see the Bucks are not good enough to support Giannis going for a title contention and knows this moment is going to happen and that they are preparing for it. This is not the first time in this week. This is probably the third time this week that we've heard from different people that the trade scenario right now is all hinging on Giannis Antetokounmpo. The question then becomes about, how long are teams going to wait? Is it just that they're waiting until a week before the trade deadline? If nothing seems like it's going to move, we're going to see a series of moves and teams just go ahead and cash their chips in and deals and talks that have already happened. Is it that teams are going to really be waiting to hold on to their assets maybe into the offseason? With Giannis potentially becoming a free agent in the summer of 2027, he's eligible for an extension in this October. Things have to start moving, I would say, right? And that's where the Milwaukee Bucks come in at in just making a decision. And we have not heard that the Bucks are willing to move Giannis unless he requests a trade. So right now, it's just a wait and see. And that wait and see could lead to teams missing out on trades that can help them right now, all because of Giannis. at this point, I'm tired of talking about Giannis trades, Willie Won'tly. I'm tired of it. But at the same time, I can't say that I'm delivering you guys all the latest NBA news if I leave out something that's been talked about this much. And I guess we just got to wait and see. But let me know down below what you guys think. Do you think we start seeing trades happen and teams stop waiting on Giannis? Or do you think we see the teams hold on to those assets, maybe even until the offseason, and not make a big move? Let me know what you guys think on that down below. But if Giannis does officially hit the market and request a trade, everything changes for this trade deadline overnight, period. There's just no doubt about it. You're going to see multi-team trades. You're going to see maybe even a super team form. If Giannis becomes available, who should go all in? That's the question I have for you here. Would you rather see Steph and LeBron or Steph and Giannis as well? Let me know that down below. Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you guys rock with us, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Hit that notification bell, because if the bell rings, that means we're dropping an episode. Make sure you guys are following us at at NBA Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, question, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the #1 spot for everything NBA and basketball related. And I'll catch you guys the next time I feel like making a video. Probably, no, not tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Probably Sunday. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.